Hi, and welcome to the Scott Hinkel Show, along with the Boilermaker head coach. I'm your host, Tanner Lipset. Coach, we had a very brief weekend last weekend, just the one duel, brought in number 5 Minnesota and gave it a really great effort, but came up a little short, losing 15-26. A lot of bright spots in the second half of the duel. Why don't you tell me about some of them?
Well, we split it in half, so we had our best start, was at the end of the first half at 157, where Salazar pulled out a late takedown to get a victory and get us on the board. And then coming out in the second half, probably the biggest spark, one of the biggest sparks we've had all year, was freshman Kyle Mosier on an offensive attack against a tough opponent who's ranked pretty high nationally. And the match was, back and forth, and then there was a couple close situations in the third period, but Mosier ended up getting the pin. So that was really exciting for him, for the team, a spark that we needed, and actually put us back in the match, So I think if anybody was really following along and knew what was coming up, some great head-to-head matchups, it gave us a real shot. And then Luke Manuel wrestled a tough match right down to the wire and ended up getting taken down and losing, but then Kissel and Logan, had big wins for us. And then Roger wrestled a nationally ranked kid very tough. So really, when you look at it, we were down 20-0. And when it was all said and done, we were really 2 takedowns away from pulling off a big win. Really
tough first half, like you said, got down 20-0 after the first four matches. Had a couple backups in the lineup with some guys, a little banged up. Really kind of adds to the thought of how important depth is in college wrestling. You get into those dual matches, and if you got a guy that's nicked up, not 100%, got to throw somebody else in there. It showed that Minnesota really capitalized on that, pulling out a couple technical falls at 33 and at 49, and that hurt us on the back half.
Yeah, and we had some wrestle-offs during the week, and the thing that I talk to our guys is whether they're backups or not, I want 30 guys on that team that feel like when they're ready to compete, or if they're given a chance to compete, they can compete with anybody in the country. And those guys had a chance, they didn't step up, and that's the bottom line. So, we felt confident in putting them out there. We felt like we could have wrestled the other guys, but they had some close wrestle-offs this week, and it's just a chance for them to prove themselves. So I know they weren't happy about it. We weren't happy about it, but you go back to the drawing board, and, we make sure the lineups shifted a little bit if they're healthy, and then we focus on Northwestern.
Going back to Kyle Mosier, definitely the most offense we've seen out of Mosier all season. He came out firing, hit, he got in deep on 3 or 4 shots in the first period, got that reversal and went to work on top in the third. Is he turning the corner? Is there something that's happening in the room that he's doing? Or, what was different about Kyle in that match that we haven't seen the rest of the season?
Well, I think he's just had a great attitude all year. I mean, he started off the season as the 4th-string guy, and for him to continually make progress is just a real credit to him. But I think, he works with Coach Rogers a lot, and I think he told Coach Rogers, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. And we talk about that all the time. The more you can get out of your comfort zone, the better you are. And that's what he said to him that he would do before the match, and that's what he did. And, he didn't score in the first period, but he certainly was aggressive and offensive, and that can only help him down the road.
When we come back, we're going to meet one of the people that's loosely associated with the program in the John Purdue Club, and we're going to talk about the support that they provide for Purdue athletics, not only at wrestling, but for all sports. Stick with us.
Welcome back to the Boilermaker Breakdown. I'm Lisa Singleton, here to update you on the week that was in Purdue athletics.
Catch up with all 18 Purdue teams each week on the Boilermaker Breakdown. Host Lisa Singleton brings you interviews, highlights, and statistics each week throughout this season, while also taking a look at the week ahead for the Old Gold and Black. The Boilermaker Breakdown, only at PurdueSports.com.
Welcome back to the Scott Hinkel Show. A big part of college athletics is the funding that comes behind them. Here at Purdue, we have the John Purdue Club, and it is the team behind the team. They provide, they do the fundraising with our alumni and the community, and they bring together, everything that we now have. With me today is Chris Clopton from the John Purdue Club. He's an important part of our team here at Purdue. Chris, welcome to the Scott Hinkel Show.
It's good to be here, Tanner.
Chris, tell me a little bit more about the John Purdue Club and what you guys do as a whole unit.
Well, Tanner, first, with my experience, I've been very fortunate to see, I guess, 3 perspectives of Purdue athletics, from a student athlete to a coach and now to an administrator. So I really understand the true importance of the John Purdue Club and our John Purdue Club members. Our mission is very simple. We support the scholarship and academic support costs of 500 plus student athletes. To give you a better perspective of that, Purdue Athletics is only one of 4 Division 1A programs in the nation that's fully self-sufficient. That means we receive no funding from the government, no funding from the school, no student fees or anything comes back to athletics. So it's a very big deal for our membership base to really grow and continue to support Purdue Athletics.
I know that Coach Hinkel is, like a lot of coaches here at Purdue, very active in his recruitment of members, both within his own alumni base and, just anybody he walks by on the street, basically, that he'll encourage them to become a John Purdue Club member. So how important is it for Coach Hinkel and your other coaches to show that little extra bit of hustle and help you guys out?
Tremendous. I mean, when you have athletic alumni coming and giving back, they understand what you go through as a student athlete, the pressure and the hard work and so forth, and to be able to come back and give, that says a lot to the current programs when they see their, those who came before them, just coming back and supporting them.
So, thanks for stopping by, Chris. We appreciate you coming to the show, telling us about the John Purdue Club. Stick with us. When we come back, we'll talk to Coach some more about the John Purdue Club and his recruitment and active involvement in that level, and a little bit about the high school state tournaments coming up all over the country. Stick with us.
Before a single tackle can be made, before a single ball can be struck, before every dive or takedown can be executed, there are things that need to be done. There are people providing support for the Boilermakers, providing scholarships and unwavering loyalty no matter what. You can be a part of the team behind the teams by joining the John Purdue Club today.
Welcome back to the Scott Hinkel Show. Coach, it's great to have an opportunity to visit with somebody like Chris that provides such a valuable service for not only our team but all the other teams at Purdue. I know that you challenge both yourself, your coaching staff, and your athletes, other people associated with the program, your alumni, to really support the John Purdue Club and add members.
Well, we understand that's why we're all here. So we really appreciate not only the people in the John Purdue Club like Chris, but also the alumni and all the people that make that happen. And obviously being a wrestler that came through this program, and I can't thank them enough. Who knows where I would be to this day without their generous support. So that's one thing we've tried to do is say, hey, make our guys understand who provides their opportunities, whether they're a walk-on or whether they're on any type of money, and even with the coaches. So we really go out and we actively recruit. The way I look at it, you are selling yourself, you're selling the program, and a lot of the guys are a little uneasy about asking for something or asking for money, and I think it's a good life skill for them. But more than that, they're selling themselves and selling what we're all about. So we're just trying to complement what the JPC does and help bring in members, because that's the lifeline of the department.
With the Mackey project going on here at Purdue and all the construction and the new things that we're building, not only the locker room that we're sitting in right now, but then we go on the road and we see some of the new stuff that they have. And how much does that inspire both you and your team to even step up that hustle and go get more members?
Well, I mean, it's just a constant challenge. I think there's some highs and lows when we do it. I just had a coaches meeting last week, and I told our coaches and our managers and our club coaches we need to each get 5 new members before the end of the year. And already I've got 5 commitments this week. A commitment's a little different than money in hand, but one of our former wrestlers was in the weight room yesterday and wrote a check. And I really try to, not only appreciate, but tell them what it's going for and make sure they understand that it's important that they try to redo it each year, and we build that base, not only for wrestling, but for the whole department. So, yeah, when you do see things like that and you experience a new locker room and you see what's going on with Mackey and you appreciate the leadership and the knowledge to us on how this is happening and why, I think we have to take a step and do that. And I think our guys have really done a good job. I think almost every one of our wrestlers has gone out and recruited a new member at this point.
While our postseason is still about a month away, the postseason for the high school athletes and some of the future Boilermakers starts this weekend. I know you wanted to give out a little shout out of good luck to some of our guys and talk a little bit about the challenges they have ahead, both in Indiana and out of state.
Well, yeah, we signed a great class, and their postseason does start now. And just like ours, you can throw away the regular season. It's a whole new season, and we've got some tough wrestlers in the state. We got 4 kids that have signed with us, and they start their journey for a state title. this weekend with the sectionals, and then we got a couple others out of state in West Virginia, Illinois, and Texas who are also going to be starting their postseasons coming up. So all we do is support them any way we can within the rules, of course, and just understand that they know we are very supportive. We're excited that they're coming to Purdue regardless of how their season ends. So we wish them well and just ask them to go out and do the best they can, and we'll look forward to having them here at Purdue.
Best of luck to all guys competing in their high school state tournaments this weekend. That's it for this week's edition of the Scott Hinkel Show. Thanks for stopping by. Again, send us your questions, both PurdueSports.com, Purdue Sports Twitter page, Purdue Sports Facebook. We'd love to hear from you and answer your questions on the show. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.